Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. After 8 years, it's finally here. We have functioning pantographs. In today's video, I will be covering the entirety of version 2.3, from the new Tramlink revival, the Morganstown Triangle, Stepford Bay. We've got a lot to cover today, so strap in, grab some popcorn, like and subscribe, and the first item on the list is something we didn't even know would be in the update. We have functioning pantographs, and not just that, but also batteries and engines. Trains with bi-mode and tri-mode capabilities can now also switch between these, and I'm sure the pantograph will confuse the noobs, so maybe we'll be able to overtake them at Beachley sidings. The majority of SCR's lines are now fully electrified, except for Stepford Bay, Rayleigh Bay, the Morganstown Shuttle Bridge, Whitefield and Newry Harbour. Electric trains will have to raise their pantographs and use them on these lines to collect power from the overhead wires. Diesel trains don't have to worry because there's no such thing as fuel on SCR, just turn on your engine and fly away. The new battery mode trains now have a rechargeable battery. The Class 756 and 398 are the only trains that have this feature, and they can go onto unelectrified lines without polluting the atmosphere. However, the battery supply is limited, meaning that it will run out eventually. Thankfully, the battery automatically recharges when connected to electricity via the pantograph, and the battery has enough charge to last on the unelectrified segments, both between Berrily and Greenslade, and also between Beachley and Stepford Bay. All of the line reworks. Let's start off with the simple stuff. All of the depots have now been given new names that reflect their position instead of their nearest station. The major ones are Stepford Depot, which is now Trinity Way TMD, Benton Depot is now Harbour City TMD, Farley Depot is now Melrose Depot, Morganstown Sidings has been replaced by Stoke Milton Sidings, which has a lot more route capabilities, and is basically Airport Parkway Depot but changed. Beachley Sidings is now known as Beachley Kingsway Cluster Sidings, and there is now a Metro-exclusive depot before the station called Marston Hill TMD. And Leighton Depot has been renamed to Winstry Lane TMD as a tribute to Winstry. We should probably get onto the operator changes now. Let's start with Airlink, which hasn't actually had that many changes. R056 and 57 to Leighton Stepford Road have had their head codes altered from 1 to 9. R060, the terminal shuttle, has been extended from Airport Parkway to Morganstown, and R063 has been introduced, which is the same shuttle except it goes to Hampton Hargate instead of Morganstown. This finally gives another, albeit not that different, route for Class 345 users, something that this bank robbery of a train has desperately needed since its introduction 3 years ago. The next set of changes comes to Waterline, and don't worry, this will be quick. R013 no longer stops at Morganstown docks, and the Newry Platform 3 bug has finally been fixed. This bug has been torturing Waterline and Express players for months. Express also didn't receive too many changes. However, R082 and 83 now call at Hampton Hargate instead of Morganstown, and R088 also calls at Hampton Hargate now. The Class 91 has also been added onto Express for people who own the Longer Trains Game Pass. It's nice to see the Game Pass get more trains, however I do wish a shorter variant was available to all users, just like with the HSTs. Connect and Metro have had the most changes here, and we'll start with Connect. There is now 6 new routes on Connect, all of which are labelled as semi-fasts. These are R104 from Stepford Central to Lynn by the Sea, R105 from Stepford Central to West Wyvern, R106 from Stepford Central to Rayleigh Bay, R107 from Stepford Central to Leighton West, R108 from Airport Central to West Wyvern, and R109 from Airport Central to Leighton West. The first 4 of these routes all go via the Morganstown line. Aside from that, various lines have had their experience restrictions lifted or reduced. R007 has been extended from Morganstown to Hampton Hargate, R025 has had a headcode change, R026 and 36 have been rerouted to go on the fast lanes between Benton and Hampton Hargate. Longer trains were also added to connect, but we'll go over that in detail in the train section. And now finally, Metro, the flagship of this update. Metro has received 2 new extensions, to Stepford Bay and Whitney Green. Stepford Bay is usable for the Class 756 and 398, while Whitney Green is only available for the Class 398 tram train. As a result, several lines have been added, and these are R139 from Greenslade to Stepford Bay via Ellesmere, R140 from Beachley to Stepford Bay, R141 from Willowfield to Stepford Bay, R142 from Stepford Bay to Whitney Green via Bowden, R143 from Stepford Central to Whitney Green via Ellesmere, and R144 from Stepford Victoria to Greenslade via Bowden. The routes that go via Bowden go through the Barton Tunnel stub, and the routes that go via Ellesmere branch off just before Berrily. Both lines meet up right before the tram platforms at Berrily, which are just outside the train station. A quick note, the segment from Berrily to Greenslade is not electrified, meaning that trams will have to switch to battery mode between these 2 segments. The overhead lines continue from Greenslade to Whitney Green. Aside from a few experience changes, there are also a few route changes, as R030, R130 and R131 now go via Bowden and Coxley Newtown. The amount of scenery changes in version 2.3 is honestly shocking, so we'll go over them one by one, starting with Beachley. The new station honestly looks a lot better and definitely a lot less bland. The platform layout isn't as horrendous as I expected, and it's the start of the new Stepford Bay branch. From Beachley, the Stepford Bay tracks go on the right via a single-track diesel-only segment of track. This is honestly baffling. There's going to be so much traffic, especially from the tram line, why not make it double-tracked? And as we saw with the first day of the update, this line is completely clogged. It's honestly a disaster. They should have made it double-tracked. It's an absolute horror fest over there. And honestly, it's a really questionable decision from Toby, and this line will probably continue to be a major source of spads and traffic even after the rush. The scenery around this branch, though, looks amazing, though I'll definitely have to redo my ranking every station video after this update. Stepford Bay honestly looks incredible, and Cadoxton? Yeah, I absolutely butchered that, and I apologise to the people of Wales. Cadoxton looks beautiful as well. Not exactly much to say here. There's also been some scenery changes and upgrades on the Willowfield line, and it does make the line look a bit nicer with some trees, but it's nothing too special on here. Moving quite far down the main line, we have the full rework of the Berrily area, from Berrily to Morganstown. The main line now has a few curves in the Berrily area, passing under the new battery-only tram tracks to Whitney Green. Berrily also looks far better now, and the junction before it was honestly done in a really nice way. I expected it to be a lot worse, but entering Denton Road for the first time was actually kind of pleasant. The new area from Greenslade to Whitney Green also looks amazing, and the station from that sneak peek was indeed Greenslade. Yep, I told you so! The Greenslade rework is nice, although I really can't see why it only has 3 platforms now that it has both Waterline and Metro services. Technically it has 4 platforms, but it's 3 from one way, 3 from the other. It's kinda weird. I predict this station will soon enough become a cluttered mess, especially because it has termini in both directions. The moment the crowd attention shifts from Stepford Bay to Whitney Green, this station will become an absolute bottleneck. The Tramlink up to Whitney Green past Robinson Way also looks amazing, changing between dedicated tracks and being buried in the asphalt. The trams thankfully have priority signalling at the intersections, so unlike Belgrade's trams, you won't have to wait for the invisible cars. The signals will always be completely green unless there is a tram in front of you. Speaking of tram signals, they are different on this line compared to the rest of the SCR network, with only two states: proceed and danger. They resemble real tram signals. However, the speed limits on this section are far too low in my opinion. While they are realistic, you're still only given a minute or two between each stop, so even while speeding, you'll build up a lot of delay. They should really reschedule the timetable sometime. Bowden has received minor reworks, with the addition of a new Metro-exclusive depot, labelled the Bowden Metro Operations Centre. I really wish Bowden Train Care won this vote, as a way to honour the history of SCR, but whatever. Beachley also has a new Metro-exclusive depot at Marston Hill, and it's filled to the brim with static Class 398s. The Benton area, namely between Benton and Hampton Hargate, although this could also be considered the Morganstown area, has received major changes. As shown in the trailer, the junction at Benton is finally fully grade separated, meaning that Benton blockers are a thing of the past. The new Benton Bridge looks amazing, and it leads us to the new Benton Bridge station, which also looks beautiful. The station building is right above the platforms connected to the street, with the railway running directly below, and right after Benton Bridge are the brand new Stoke Milton cluster sidings, with a fully reworked Morganstown triangle. Morganstown has also been reworked, and the flyover is finally gone. The new station is a mixed bag in my book. While it's great, and the flyover being removed is amazing, the roof was unique and it deserved to stay in my opinion. Who said small city or town stations can't have amazing architecture like the Morganstown canopy? Although, to be fair, it did kind of contradict the laws of physics. Moving on from that mixed bag, we have Hampton Hargate, and its much needed rework. It looks genuinely great now. There's also actual scenery around it, and the express tracks are finally being used. R007 being extended here feels weird, especially since Morganstown still has two terminating platforms, but it's fine. The suburban scenery around Morganstown and Hampton Hargate also genuinely feels like a British suburban neighbourhood, and not like a weird city with skyscrapers and absolutely nothing, which it was before this update. Beyond here, Upper Staplow has received minor changes, although I couldn't really see anything aside from the car markers and maybe this car park. From there, the main line continues on as usual, with the only notable difference being the renamed depots, such as North Shore TMD, which is now Lyra TMD, and the reworked station at Starryloch. The trains. There are three new trains that have arrived with this update: the Class 91, Class 398, and Class 700 trains, while the second one is a mix between a tram and a train. The Class 91 is just a standard express train, no comment. It's basically the HST, but not diesel. It's a wonderful train, but I haven't bought the Game Pass yet, because it is still a robbery, so I can't really rank it further. The Class 398, on the other hand, is amazing. It has both battery and diesel modes, and it can run on every metro line except R137 for some reason. The detail on this train is amazing. The Class 700 is a part of the Game Pass, so once again I wasn't able to review it fully. However, from what I've seen in the sneak peeks and trailer shots, and from walking through it at St. Helens Bridge, it's basically a longer 707. Sadly, or not depending on the train, we lost two trains, the Class 444 and 458. The former is a sad loss, as it was honestly a decent train that was badly in need of a remesh with the other Zeros. These trains were both lost due to the lack of third rail power in Stepford. The Class 458, personally I'm glad it's gone. The train's interior was kinda futuristic, and Alstom does tend to make good interiors, but the sound and the hideous front on the Dash Zero variant completely killed it for me and for a lot of other players. This update also brought with it the longer variants of multiple connect trains. However, sadly, even the 6-car trains are locked behind the Game Pass. It's ridiculous in my opinion. It was a clear rule. If it's 7 cars, it won't be part of the Game Pass. But hey, apparently I guess that doesn't count if we want to make the Game Pass a more viable alternative. I won't talk about these trains much, as not only are they locked behind the Game Pass, which I haven't bought yet, they aren't even new trains. Take a Class 385, couple it with another one. There you go, that's a double Class 385. It's not a new train like the 700, 745 or 390. TRTS and signalling changes. This update has also brought numerous changes to the signalling system, and by numerous changes I mean it's completely reworked. It's now split into zones. The first letter on the signal is the location of the signalling center. The second letter is the zone, and the numbers are used as before. The zones are now numbered 1 through 10 as well, so there's basically 2 systems. It's kinda complicated. More detail can be found in the Discord server. The TRTS boxes are a new feature, and it's pretty simple. Basically, instead of just pressing the TRTS button, you'll be guided to a TRTS box, where you'll then open the box and press a button to activate the TRTS. The rest of the dispatching procedure should be unaffected. With 2.3 came numerous bug fixes as well. One that I'm particularly happy about is that we can now finally turn around at Newry Platform 3 without being despawned. Additionally, the metro tunnels across Stepford now finally have collision, meaning no more accidentally falling into the void. There are also numerous other fixes across the map, such as the longer trains bug at Wester Coast, etc, and the devs are apparently working on finally fixing the pacer doors. Overall, this update might be the biggest in the history of Stepford, and it's amazing. I haven't even covered the entire thing here purely because I'm too busy enjoying the update, and going outside. I'd give this one a 9.9 out of 10, simply because the pacer doors haven't been fixed yet. However, I do have to applaud Tobias John Henry 44 for finally getting off his nose candy and delivering an actually decent update. Thank you all so much for watching. Special thanks goes to my channel members, whose names you can see on screen. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. I'll be ranking all of STL's updates soon, and I might do more coverage of 2.3 then. Have a good one.